5,000 Essential English Words Everyone Should Know. Meanings and Examples, Part Number 2. Because. For the reason that. She stayed home because it was raining. They canceled the trip because everyone was sick. East. The direction opposite west. The sun rises in the east. They live in the east part of the city. Expensive. Costing a lot of money. This watch is very expensive. They couldn't afford the expensive hotel. Flower. The blossom of a plant. She picked a beautiful flower from the garden. The flower blooms in spring. Garden. A plot of ground for growing plants. They have a vegetable garden behind the house. He spent the weekend working in his garden. Holiday. A day of celebration or rest. They are planning a holiday to the mountains. The store is closed for the national holiday. Many. A large number of. She has many friends in the city. There are many options to choose from. Million. 1,000,000. The city has over 1 million residents. He won $1 million in the lottery. Mountain. A large natural elevation. They climbed the highest mountain in the region. The view from the mountain is breathtaking. Place. A specific area or location. This is a great place to relax. She saved a place for him at the table. Please subscribe and like. Popular. Liked by many people. This restaurant is popular among locals. The singer is very popular worldwide. Ski. To glide on snow with skis. They went skiing in the Alps. She learned how to ski last winter. Such. Of the type previously mentioned. He has such amazing ideas. They had never seen such a big city. Total. The whole amount. The total cost is $50. In total, there were 5 players. Tower. A tall, narrow structure. They visited the famous tower in Paris. The watchtower stood at the edge of the cliff. Town. A populated area smaller than a city. They grew up in a small town by the river. The town hosts a big festival every year. Train. A mode of transportation on rails. He took the train to New York. She trains her dog to follow commands. Walk. To move by putting one foot in front of the other. They decided to walk to the park. She enjoys a morning walk every day. Watch. To look at attentively. He watched a movie last night. She wears a silver watch on her wrist. World. The earth and its inhabitants. The world is full of diverse cultures. She wants to travel the world someday. Anxious. Feeling worried or nervous. She felt anxious before the big exam. He was anxious about the results of his test. Awful. Very bad or unpleasant. The food tasted awful. She had an awful experience at the hotel. Consist. To be made up of. The recipe consists of simple ingredients. The team consists of 5 members. Desire. A strong feeling of wanting something. She had a strong desire to travel. He desires to become a successful artist. Eager. Very interested and excited. The students were eager to learn. She was eager to start her new job. Household. A group of people living together in a home. There are 4 people in her household. The household budget needs careful planning. Intent. Purpose or determination. Her intent was to finish the project on time. He looked at her with a serious intent. Landscape. The visible features of an area of land. The mountain landscape is stunning. She painted a beautiful landscape. Lift. To raise to a higher position. He helped her lift the heavy box. The elevator lift was out of order. Load. Something carried or moved. The truck was carrying a heavy load. She loaded the groceries into her car. Please subscribe and like. Lung. An organ used for breathing. Smoking is harmful to the lungs. He took a deep breath to fill his lungs with fresh air. Motion. The process of moving. The motion of the waves was calming. She motioned him to come closer. Pace. The speed of movement or progress. He walked at a fast pace. The runner set a quick pace from the beginning. Polite. Showing good manners. The waiter was very polite. It's polite to thank someone when they help you. Possess. To own or have. She possesses a unique talent. They possess several properties in the area. Rapidly. Very quickly. The population is growing rapidly. He responded to the question rapidly. Remark. A comment or to comment on. She made a remark about the weather. He remarked that the food was excellent. Seek. To look for or try to find. They are seeking a solution to the problem. He sought advice from a professional. Shine. To emit light. The sun shines brightly in summer. Her shoes had a bright shine after cleaning. Spill. To accidentally flow over the edge. She accidentally spilled her coffee. There was a milk spill on the kitchen floor. Arrow. A weapon with a pointed tip, shot from a bow. The hunter aimed his arrow at the target. He used an arrow to point to the exit. Battle. A fight between opposing forces. The soldiers prepared for battle. They battled against difficult odds. Bow. A weapon for shooting arrows, to bend downward. She pulled back the bow and released the arrow. He bowed to show respect. Brave. Showing courage. The firefighter was brave in the face of danger. She made a brave decision to move abroad alone. Chief. The leader, or most important. He is the chief of the tribe. The chief reason for the delay was traffic. Disadvantage. An unfavorable circumstance. Living far from work is a disadvantage. The lack of experience was a disadvantage for him. Enemy. Someone opposed or hostile. They fought against a strong enemy. He considered her his enemy. Entrance. The act of entering, or a place to enter. They stood by the entrance of the building. The grand entrance made a lasting impression. Hardly. Barely, or almost not. She could hardly keep her eyes open. He hardly ever goes out on weekends. Intend. To have a plan or purpose. She intends to finish her degree next year. They intended to arrive early for the meeting. Please subscribe and like. Laughter. The sound of laughing. Her laughter filled the room with joy. His jokes caused a lot of laughter among friends. Log. A large piece of a cut tree. They added another log to the fire. The log was heavy to carry alone. Military. Relating to armed forces. He served in the military for several years. The military training was intense and challenging. Obey. To follow commands or rules. Soldiers must obey their orders. She obeyed her parents' advice. Secure. To make safe or protect. They secured the building with alarms. The door was locked securely. Steady. Firmly fixed or stable. He kept a steady pace throughout the race. She has a steady job that she enjoys. Trust. To believe in the reliability of someone or something. She trusts her best friend completely. He earned their trust over time. Twist. To turn or bend into a different shape. She twisted her ankle while running. The story had an unexpected twist at the end. Unless. Except if. We won't go unless it stops raining. You can't enter unless you have a ticket. Weapon. An instrument used to inflict harm. The soldier carried a powerful weapon. Words can sometimes be a weapon in arguments. Chest. The front part of the body or a box. He felt pain in his chest. She stored the jewelry in a wooden chest. Confidence. Belief in one's abilities or qualities. She spoke with confidence at the meeting. Confidence helps in achieving success. Consequence. A result or effect of an action. His actions had serious consequences. Every decision has a consequence. Disaster. A sudden event causing great damage. The earthquake was a major disaster. Floods can turn into a disaster quickly. Disturb. To interrupt or interfere with something. Please don't disturb me while I'm working. Loud noises disturb the peace in the office. Estimate. To roughly calculate or judge a value. They estimated the cost to be around $500. The estimate for repairs was high. Honor. Respect or esteem, to show respect. He was honored for his bravery. Winning the award was a great honor. Impress. To make someone admire something. She wanted to impress her boss with her work. His kindness impressed everyone. Narrow. Having a small width, limited in extent. The road was too narrow for 2 cars. He has a narrow understanding of the subject. Pale. Light in color or weak in intensity. She looked pale after the long journey. The walls were painted a pale yellow. Rough. Uneven or not smooth. The surface of the rock was rough. It was a rough journey through the mountains. Satisfy. To meet the needs or expectations of. He tried to satisfy the customer's demands. The meal was enough to satisfy everyone. Scream. To cry out loudly. She screamed when she saw the spider. His scream echoed through the empty halls. Sensitive. Easily affected or responsive to changes. He has sensitive skin that burns easily. She is sensitive to loud noises. Shade. An area protected from sunlight. We sat in the shade of the tree. The room needs some shade to keep it cool. Please subscribe and like. Strength. The quality of being strong or powerful. His strength helped him lift the heavy box. Physical strength is essential for the job. Supplement. Something added to complete or enhance. He takes vitamins as a supplement. She decided to supplement her diet with iron. Terror. Extreme fear. The movie filled her with terror. Terror spread through the town after the storm. Threat. A declaration of intention to cause harm. The animal posed a threat to the village. He made a threat that scared everyone. Victim. Someone who suffers from a harmful event. She was a victim of the accident. Victims of the fire received aid. Ancestor. A person from whom one is descended. He researched his ancestors in history books. My ancestors came from a different country. Angle. The space between 2 intersecting lines. The building had sharp angles. Change the angle to improve the view. Boot. A sturdy shoe covering the foot and ankle. She wore boots for hiking. His boots were muddy from the field. Border. The line separating 2 areas or regions. They live near the border of 2 countries. Guards protect the country's borders. Congratulate. To express pleasure over someone's success. I congratulated her on her promotion. They congratulated him after the performance. Frame. A rigid structure surrounding an object. The picture is in a wooden frame. He bought a new frame for his diploma. Heaven. A place considered the ultimate paradise. They believe in heaven after life. This beautiful place feels like heaven. Incredible. Difficult to believe, amazing. The view from the mountain was incredible. She has an incredible talent for music. Legend. A traditional story or famous person. There is a legend about this ancient city. He became a legend in the sports world. Praise. To express approval or admiration. The teacher praised her for her hard work. He praised the team after their victory. Proceed. To continue or carry on with an action. After the break, we will proceed with the lecture. Please proceed with the instructions. Pure. Free from any contamination. She wore a dress of pure white. They used pure water for the experiment. Relative. A member of one's family. She visited her relatives during the holiday. His relatives live in another city. Senior. Higher in rank or older. He is a senior manager at the company. They hired a senior accountant. Silent. Not making noise. The room was completely silent. She remained silent during the discussion. Sink. To go down or drop to a lower level. The ship started to sink after the crash. She felt like she would sink from exhaustion. Superior. Higher in quality or rank. This product is superior in quality. Her skills are superior to her peers. Surround. To be on all sides of. Trees surrounded the small cottage. The town is surrounded by mountains. Thick. Having a large distance from one side to the other. The book had thick pages. The forest was dense and thick with trees. Wrap. To cover or enclose with material. She wrapped the gift in shiny paper. They wrapped a blanket around him. Please subscribe and like. Also, in addition, as well, she is a teacher and also a writer. I like coffee and also enjoy tea. Automatically. By itself, without needing human control. The lights turn on automatically at dusk. The device updates automatically. Busy. Actively occupied or engaged. She is always busy with work. He kept himself busy to avoid stress. Can. To be able to have the ability. She can speak 3 languages. Can you help me with this task? Clear. Easy to understand, transparent. The instructions were very clear. The lake water was clear and blue. Close. To shut, near. Please close the door behind you. The store is close to my house. Discuss. To talk about a topic with others. Let's discuss the project details. They discuss different ideas for the event. Feel. To experience an emotion or sensation. I feel happy when I'm with friends. She felt the soft fabric between her fingers. Listen. To give attention to sound. He likes to listen to classical music. Listen carefully to the instructions. Meet. To come into the presence of someone. I will meet him at the coffee shop. We met at the conference last year. Music. Organized sound, typically with melody and rhythm. She loves listening to classical music. Music fills the room with energy. Normal. Usual, typical, or expected. It's normal to feel nervous before a test. He returned to his normal routine. Quiet. Making little or no noise. The library is a quiet place. She enjoys the quiet of early morning. Relax. To become less tense or anxious. He relaxed by the pool after a long day. She relaxes with a good book. Sleep. To rest with eyes closed, a state of rest. He tries to get enough sleep each night. She fell asleep quickly. Stress. Pressure or tension, to emphasize. Work stress can affect health. He stressed the importance of being on time. Study. To devote time to learning. She studies every night for her exams. They study languages in school. Talk. To speak with others about a subject. We need to talk about the plans for the event. She talks to her friends every day. Work. To perform a task, tasks performed. She works as an engineer. His work is very important to him. Write. To form words on a surface. She writes articles for a magazine. He wrote a letter to his friend. Basis. The foundation or support for something. His argument has a strong basis. Honesty is the basis of good relationships. Biology. The scientific study of life and living organisms. She is studying biology in college. Biology explains how living things function. Cage. A structure made of bars or wires to contain animals. The bird lives in a large cage. They place the rabbit in a small cage. Colleague. A person you work with. She discussed the project with her colleagues. His colleagues praised his work. Colony. A group of the same kind living together. There is a colony of ants near the house. The British colony gained independence. Please subscribe and like. Debate. A formal discussion, to discuss. The debate on climate change lasted hours. They debated the best solution. Depart. To leave or go away. The plane will depart at 8 a.m. He departed from the office early. Depress. To make someone feel sad or discouraged. The rainy weather can depress people. Bad news can depress anyone. Factual. Based on facts, true. The article was factual and unbiased. He presented factual information in the report. Fascinate. To attract or hold intense interest. Science fiction fascinates many readers. She is fascinated by history. Mission. An important task or goal. The astronauts are on a mission to Mars. Helping others is part of his mission. Nevertheless. In spite of that, however. It was raining, nevertheless, we went for a walk. She was tired, nevertheless, she completed the task. Occupation? A person's job or profession. His occupation is a lawyer. She chose teaching as her occupation. Overseas. In or to a foreign country across the sea. He works for an overseas company. She studied overseas in Europe. Persuade. To convince someone to do something. He persuaded her to join the team. Ads try to persuade people to buy products. Route. A path or way taken to get somewhere. This is the fastest route to the airport. The delivery truck follows a set route. Ruins. The remains of something destroyed. We explored the ancient ruins. The ruins of the castle were fascinating. Scholar. A person who is highly educated in a specific field. She is a respected scholar in economics. Scholars often publish their research. Significant. Important or meaningful. This is a significant step in his career. The discovery had significant impact on science. Volcano. A mountain with a crater that erupts lava. The volcano erupted last year. Hawaii has several active volcanoes. Broad. Wide in extent, general. He has a broad knowledge of history. The road is broad enough for 2 lanes. Bush. A low, dense plant with branches. The cat hid behind a bush. They planted bushes around the garden. Capable. Having the ability or skill to do something. She is capable of handling difficult tasks. He is a capable leader in the company. Cheat. To act dishonestly to gain advantage. He was caught cheating on the test. She doesn't like games where people cheat. Concentrate. To focus attention on something. She needs to concentrate on her studies. He finds it hard to concentrate in noisy places. Conclude. To finish or bring to an end. They concluded the meeting with a summary. The story concludes with a twist ending. Confident. Feeling sure of oneself. She feels confident before exams. He is confident in his abilities. Considerable. Notably large in size or importance. The project required considerable effort. He made a considerable investment in the business. Convey. To communicate or express something. She tried to convey her feelings in the letter. The painting conveys a sense of peace. Definite. Certain and clear. He gave me a definite answer. The deadline is definite and cannot be changed. Please subscribe and like. Delight. Great pleasure or joy, to please greatly. The show was a delight to watch. He delighted the audience with his performance. Destination. The place where someone is going. Paris is a popular travel destination. They reach their destination by noon. Edge. The outer limit of an area or surface. The glass was placed on the edge of the table. He walked along the edge of the cliff. Instructions. Directions on how to do something. Follow the instructions on the box. The teacher gave clear instructions for the test. Path. A way or track made for walking. The path leads to the beach. They walked along a forest path. Resort. A place for relaxation or recreation. They stayed at a beach resort. The resort offers many activities for guests. Shadow. A dark area created by blocking light. The tree casts a long shadow on the ground. She saw her shadow on the wall. Succeed. To achieve a goal or desired outcome. She worked hard to succeed in her career. Success comes to those who strive to succeed. Suspect. To believe without certain proof. The police suspect him of the crime. She suspects that he is hiding something. Valley. A low area of land between hills or mountains. The valley is surrounded by high mountains. They hiked through a beautiful valley. Against. In opposition to something. They protested against the new policy. She leaned against the wall. Beach. A sandy or pebbly shore by a body of water. We spent the day on the beach. The beach was crowded with tourists. Damage. Harm or injury to something. The storm caused severe damage to the building. They tried to assess the damage. Discover. To find something previously unknown. He discovered a new species of butterfly. She discovered a shortcut to work. Emotion. A strong feeling, such as happiness, sadness, or anger. Love is a powerful emotion. She could not hide her emotions. Fix. To repair or make something work. He tried to fix the broken radio. She fixed the leak in the pipe. Identify. To recognize or establish what something is. He could identify the bird by its song. She identified the issue in the system. Island. A piece of land surrounded by water. They vacationed on a tropical island. Japan is an island nation. Ocean. A large body of salt water. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. The ocean is home to diverse marine life. Perhaps. Possibly or maybe. Perhaps we will visit the museum tomorrow. He is late. Perhaps he got stuck in traffic. Pleasant. Enjoyable or agreeable. The weather is pleasant today. She had a pleasant conversation with him. Prevent. To stop something from happening. They tried to prevent the accident. Good hygiene helps prevent illness. Rock. A solid mineral material. They collected rocks by the river. A large rock blocked the road. Save. To rescue or preserve from harm. She saved money for a new car. He saved the child from drowning. Smile. To express pleasure with facial expression. She smiled at the stranger. His smile brightened the room. Please subscribe and like. Step. A movement made by lifting the foot, a stage in a process. She took a step forward. The project is in its final step. Still. Not moving or quiet, even now. He stood still in the room. She is still waiting for an answer. Taste. The sensation produced by something in the mouth. The soup has a spicy taste. He tasted the dish before serving. Throw. To propel something through the air. She threw the ball to him. He threw the paper in the trash. Wave. A raised movement of water, to gesture with the hand. The waves crashed on the shore. She waved goodbye to her friends. Citizen. A person who belongs to a particular country. She is a citizen of France. Citizens have the right to vote. Council. A group of people who manage or advise something. The city council made a new rule. He joined the student council. Declare. To announce something officially. The president declared a holiday. She declared her intentions. Enormous. Very large in size or amount. The building was enormous. They had an enormous amount of work. Extraordinary. Very unusual or remarkable. She has extraordinary talent in music. The view from the mountain was extraordinary. Fog. Thick cloud near the ground, making visibility low. The fog made driving difficult. The city was covered in fog. Funeral. A ceremony for burying or cremating someone. They attended her grandmother's funeral. His friends gathered at the funeral. Giant. A very large person or thing, very large. The statue is a giant. She saw a giant bear in the woods. Impression. An idea or feeling about someone or something. She made a good impression at the interview. His speech left a strong impression. Intention. A plan or purpose to do something. Her intention is to help people. He has good intentions. Mad. Very angry or insane. She was mad at her friend. The story describes a mad scientist. Ought. Used to indicate duty or correctness. You ought to apologize. He ought to study more. Resist. To fight against or avoid something. She resisted the urge to laugh. He couldn't resist eating chocolate. Reveal. To make something known that was hidden. He revealed his true feelings. The magician revealed the trick. Rid. To remove or free from something unwanted. She got rid of old clothes. He wants to rid himself of bad habits. Sword. A weapon with a long metal blade. The knight carried a sword. He displayed an ancient sword. Tale. A story, especially imaginative or fictitious. She told a tale of adventure. Fairy tales are popular with children. Trap. A device to catch or hold, to catch someone. They set a trap for the animal. He was trapped in a small room. Trial. A legal process in court, a test. The trial lasted for 2 weeks. The new product is on trial. Violent. Using force to hurt or damage. He was involved in a violent argument. Violent movies can be disturbing. Please subscribe and like. Admission. Permission to enter, a confession. She applied for admission to the university. His admission surprised everyone. Astronomy. The scientific study of stars and planets. Astronomy explores distant galaxies. He loves studying astronomy. Blame. To hold someone responsible for something. She blamed him for the mistake. Don't blame yourself for the accident. Chemistry. The science of substances and reactions. She has a degree in chemistry. They discuss the chemistry of water. Despite. In spite of, without being affected by. They went outside despite the rain. She succeeded despite the challenges. Dinosaur. A large extinct reptile from prehistoric times. The museum has a dinosaur exhibit. Dinosaurs lived millions of years ago. Exhibit. A display of objects to show publicly. The art exhibit was popular. She exhibited her paintings at the gallery. Fame. The state of being well-known or famous. She achieved fame as a singer. His fame spread quickly. Forecast. A prediction, especially of weather, to predict. The weather forecast was for rain. They forecast economic growth. Genius. A person with exceptional talent or intelligence. Einstein was a genius. She has a genius for solving problems. Gentle. Kind and soft in behavior or nature. She has a gentle voice. He spoke in a gentle tone. Geography. The study of Earth's surface, climates, and resources. She teaches geography at school. Geography explains why climates vary. Interfere. To get involved in something not of one's concern. He didn't want to interfere in their argument. Her parents interfere in her choices. Lightly. With little force or severity. She touched the puppy lightly. They painted the walls lightly. Principal. The head of a school, most important. The school principal gave a speech. Safety is our principal concern. Row. A line of things or people. They sat in the front row. The garden has rows of flowers. Shelf. A flat surface attached to a wall for storage. The book is on the top shelf. She arranged the items on the shelf. Spite. A desire to annoy or hurt someone. She ignored him out of spite. He did it just to spite his rival. Super. Very good or excellent. The movie was super fun. She did a super job on the project. Wet. Covered with or soaked in liquid. His clothes were wet from the rain. The dog's fur was wet after the bath. Abuse. Cruel treatment to misuse or mistreat. Child abuse is illegal. She abused her power. Afford. To be able to pay for something. I can't afford a new car. They can afford to travel. Bake. To cook in an oven, especially bread or cakes. She baked a cake for his birthday. He loves to bake cookies. Bean. An edible seed of certain plants, often in a pod. He added beans to the soup. She grows beans in her garden. Candle. A stick of wax with a wick for lighting. She lit a candle at dinner. The power went out, so they used candles. Please subscribe and like. Convert. To change something into a different form. They converted the garage into a room. He converted dollars into euros. Debt. An amount of money owed to someone. She is in debt to the bank. His debts are paid off. Decrease. To make or become smaller in amount. The decrease in prices helped sales. Pollution levels have decreased. Fault. Responsibility for a mistake or wrong. It was her fault the plan failed. They tried to find the fault in the system. Fund. A reserve of money to provide money for something. The charity needs more funds. They funded the research project. Generous. Willing to give or share freely. She was very generous with her time. He made a generous donation. Ingredient. A substance used in cooking or preparing something. The ingredients for the recipe are simple. Salt is an essential ingredient. Insist. To demand something firmly. She insisted on paying the bill. He insists that he is right. Mess. A dirty or untidy state. Her room was a mess. He made a mess in the kitchen. Metal. A hard, shiny material that conducts heat and electricity. The tool is made of metal. They used metal to build the bridge. Monitor. A screen to display information, to observe or check. He bought a new computer monitor. Doctors monitored the patient's health. Oppose. To be against or resist something. Many people oppose the new law. He opposed their decision. Passive. Accepting or allowing things without resistance. She remained passive during the discussion. He took a passive approach to conflict. Quantity. An amount or number of something. They bought a large quantity of food. Measure the quantity carefully. Sue. To take legal action against someone. She decided to sue the company. He sued them for damages. Adequate. Enough in quantity or quality for a purpose. They had adequate food for the trip. His skills were adequate for the job. Anxiety. A feeling of worrying or fear about something. She felt anxiety before the exam. His anxiety made him nervous. Army. A large group of soldiers organized to fight. He joined the army at 18. The army was deployed overseas. Billion. 1,000 million, 1 billion. The company made $1 billion in profit. The project will cost billions. Carve. To cut something into a specific shape. He carved his name into the tree. She carved a sculpture from wood. Consult. To seek advice or information from someone. She consulted her doctor for advice. They consulted with their lawyer. Emergency. A serious, unexpected situation needing quick action. They were trained for emergency situations. Call 911 in case of emergency. Fortune. A large amount of money or luck. He made a fortune in business. She felt it was her good fortune to win. Guarantee. A promise or assurance for a product or service. They gave a guarantee on the item. She guarantees satisfaction. Initial. Occurring at the beginning, the first letter of a name. Her initial reaction was surprise. Sign with your initials here. Please subscribe and like. Intense. Very strong, extreme, or powerful. The heat was intense in the desert. He felt intense pressure at work. Lend. To give something temporarily with the expectation of return. She will lend him her book. He lent her some money. Peak. The highest point or top, to reach the top. The mountain's peak is covered in snow. He peaked in his career last year. Potential. The possibility for future development, possible. She has great potential as a musician. This project has potential to succeed. Pride. A feeling of self-respect or satisfaction. He takes pride in his work. She felt pride in her accomplishments. Proof. Evidence that something is true. They need proof of their identity. The documents are proof of ownership. Quit. To stop doing something or leave a job. He decided to quit his job. She quit smoking last year. Spin. To turn or whirl around quickly. The wheel started to spin. She spun around in her dress. Tiny. Very small in size. The kitten was tiny compared to the others. He held a tiny shell in his hand. Tutor. A private teacher, to teach someone privately. She hired a tutor for math. He tutors students after school. Apparent. Clearly visible or understood, obvious. It was apparent that he was tired. The solution was not immediately apparent. Blind. Unable to see. She has been blind since birth. The bright light blinded him temporarily. Calculate. To determine something by mathematical methods. She calculated the total cost. He calculated his earnings for the year. Chat. An informal conversation, to talk casually. They had a chat over coffee. She likes to chat with friends online. Commit. To pledge or bind to a certain course or action. She committed to finishing her degree. He is committed to his work. Compose. To create or write something, especially music or text. He composed a new song. She composed a letter to her friend. Dormitory. A large bedroom or building where students live. She lives in a dormitory at college. The dormitory was full of students. Exhaust. To make someone extremely tired. The long journey exhausted him. She was exhausted after the workout. Greenhouse. A building with glass walls for growing plants. They grow tomatoes in a greenhouse. The greenhouse is warm and humid. Ignore. To deliberately pay no attention to something. She ignored his calls. He tried to ignore the noise. Obvious. Easy to see or understand. It was obvious that she was lying. The answer was obvious to everyone. Physics. The science of matter, energy, and their interactions. He studies physics in college. Physics explains how gravity works. Portion. A part or share of something. She ate a portion of the cake. They received a portion of the profits. Remind. To help someone remember something. Please remind me to call him. She reminded him about the meeting. Secretary. A person who assists with office tasks. She works as a secretary. The secretary scheduled the meeting. Please subscribe and like. Severe. Very intense, strict, or harsh. He suffered from severe pain. The storm caused severe damage. Talent. A natural skill or ability. She has a talent for singing. His talent was recognized early. Thesis. A long piece of writing on a particular subject, usually for a degree. She is working on her thesis for her master's. His thesis was about ancient history. Uniform. A standard set of clothing, remaining the same. Students wear uniforms at this school. The soldiers wore their uniforms. Vision. The ability to see, an idea of the future. He has a clear vision for his company. Her vision is to improve education. Absorb. To take in or soak up. The sponge absorbs water. Plants absorb sunlight. Boss. A person in charge of workers. Her boss is very supportive. He reported the issue to his boss. Charitable. Relating to helping those in need. He makes charitable donations. She has a charitable nature. Committee. A group of people organized for a specific purpose. The committee met to discuss the project. She is a member of the planning committee. Contract. A formal agreement between two or more parties to reduce in size. They signed a contract with the company. The balloon contracts when it cools. Crew. A group of people who work together, especially on a ship or plane. The flight crew was very professional. The film crew set up the cameras. Devote. To give time or resources to a specific purpose. She devoted her life to education. He devotes his free time to volunteer work. Dig. To break up and move earth or soil, often to make a hole. They dug a hole for the tree. She dug through her bag for her keys. Dine. To eat a meal, typically dinner. They dined at a fancy restaurant. We usually dine at home. Donate. To give money, goods, or time for a charitable cause. She donates money to animal shelters. He donated his old clothes to charity. Double. To make something twice as much or twice as many, twice as large or much. His salary doubled last year. They ordered a double portion of fries. Flavor. The taste of food or drink. Chocolate is my favorite ice cream flavor. The dish has a spicy flavor. Foundation. The base of a building or a basic principle. The house has a strong foundation. The foundation of her argument was solid. Generation. A group of people born around the same time. This generation is very tech-savvy. 3 generations live in that house. Handle. To deal with or manage something. She handles customer complaints well. He knows how to handle difficult situations. Layer. A thickness of material covering a surface or object. The cake has multiple layers. She wore layers to stay warm. Mud. Soft, wet earth or soil. The kids played in the mud. His boots were covered in mud. Smooth. Having an even, flat surface without roughness. The surface of the table is very smooth. She has smooth skin. Soil. The top layer of earth where plants grow. This plant needs rich soil to grow well. The soil was dry and cracked. Unique. Being the only one of its kind. She has a unique style of writing. Each fingerprint is unique. Please subscribe and like. Academy. An institution of higher learning or specialized training. He studied at the military academy. She joined an art academy. Ancient. Very old, from a long time ago. They visited ancient ruins in Greece. Ancient civilizations left many artifacts. Board. A flat surface to get on or enter a vehicle. They displayed the schedule on the board. She boarded the train at 7 p.m. Century. A period of 100 years. The 21st century has brought many technological advances. That building is over a century old. Clue. A piece of information that helps to solve a problem. The detective found a clue at the scene. The crossword puzzle had difficult clues. Concert. A musical performance given in public. They attended a live concert. She plays violin in the school concert. County. A territorial division within a state or country. He lives in Orange County. The county has a beautiful park. Dictionary. A book or online resource with word meanings. She looked up the word in the dictionary. The dictionary has many language translations. Exist. To be real or to be present. Does life exist on other planets? The problem no longer exists. Flat. Level, even, or smooth, not curved or elevated. The landscape was flat with no hills. She has a flat tire on her bike. Gentleman. A polite, respectful man. He behaved like a true gentleman. The gentleman opened the door for her. Hidden. Not visible or easily found. The treasure was hidden under the tree. She found a hidden compartment in the drawer. Maybe. Possibly or perhaps. Maybe I'll go to the party. He said maybe he'll join us later. Officer. A person holding a position of authority, especially in the military or police. The officer gave him a ticket. She became an army officer. Original. The first of its kind or earliest form. This is an original piece of artwork. He has the original document. Pound. A unit of weight, to hit or crush heavily. The package weighs 5 pounds. He pounded on the door loudly. Process. A series of actions to achieve a result, to perform a series of actions. The hiring process takes a few weeks. They process the application quickly. Publish. To make written work available to the public. She published her first book last year. The article was published in a journal. Theater. A place for performing arts or movies. They watched a play at the theater. The theater was packed with people. Wealth. A large amount of money or valuable resources. She inherited great wealth. His wealth allowed him to travel the world. Aim. A goal or target, to direct towards a goal. His aim is to become a doctor. She aimed the camera at the bird. Attach. To fasten, join, or connect something. Attach the file to the email. She attached the note to the fridge. Bet. To gamble or wager, a wager. He bet $10 on the game. It was a risky bet to make. Carriage. A vehicle, usually horse-drawn, used in the past. The princess arrived in a carriage. The old carriage was on display at the museum. Classic. Considered timeless or of the highest quality. She enjoys reading classic novels. That movie is a classic. Please subscribe and like. Commute. To travel to and from work, the journey to work. She commutes to the city every day. His daily commute takes an hour. Confirm. To verify or make sure of something. Please confirm the reservation. She confirmed her attendance. Criticize. To express disapproval or find fault. He criticized her performance. The movie was heavily criticized. Differ. To be unlike or different. Their opinions differ on the topic. This model differs from the last one. Expense. The cost or price of something. They cut down on unnecessary expenses. The trip was a major expense. Formal. Following established rules or customs, official. The event had a formal dress code. He spoke in a formal tone. Height. The measurement from base to top. The building's height is 50 meters. She's afraid of heights. Invent. To create something new for the first time. He invented the first telephone. They invented a new software tool. Junior. Lower in rank or younger, a younger person. She's a junior employee. He's a junior in high school. Labor. Work or effort, to work hard. The project required intense labor. They labored in the hot sun. Mechanic. A person who repairs machines, especially vehicles. She took her car to the mechanic. The mechanic fixed the engine problem. Prime. Most important or of the highest quality. She was in her prime as an athlete. Prime numbers have only two divisors. Shift. A work period, to change position or direction. He works the night shift. She shifted her focus to another project. Signal. A gesture or sound to convey information, to indicate. The green light is a signal to go. She signaled for help. Sincere. Genuine and truthful in feelings or expression. She gave a sincere apology. His words were sincere and heartfelt. Ability. The skill or talent to do something. She has an ability to learn languages quickly. His ability in math is impressive. Agriculture. The practice of farming. Agriculture is important for food production. The country's economy relies on agriculture. Cartoon. A simple, humorous drawing or animated show. The kids watched cartoons on TV. He drew a cartoon of his friend. Ceiling. The upper interior surface of a room. The ceiling was painted white. The ceiling is very high. Convince. To make someone believe something is true. She convinced him to join the team. They tried to convince her to stay. Curious. Eager to know or learn something. She was curious about his past. Kids are naturally curious about the world. Delay. A period of time when something is postponed, to postpone. The flight was delayed by an hour. There was a delay in the project. Diary. A personal record of events, thoughts, or feelings. She writes in her diary every night. His diary was full of travel stories. Element. A part or component of something. Water is an essential element for life. The periodic table lists all chemical elements. Faith. Strong belief or trust in something or someone. She has faith in her abilities. They lost faith in the government. Please subscribe and like. Grain. A small, hard seed of a cereal plant. He planted a field of grain. There were grains of rice on the table. Greet. To welcome someone with friendly words or gestures. She greeted her friends warmly. The host greeted each guest at the door. Investigate. To examine or study something carefully to discover facts. The police are investigating the crime. Scientists investigate new ways to cure diseases. Joy. A feeling of great happiness or pleasure. She was filled with joy when she heard the news. Playing with her pet brings her joy. Label. A piece of paper or other material that gives information to name or describe something. The label on the bottle says organic. She labeled each box with its contents. Monk. A man who is a member of a religious community. The monk lived in a quiet monastery. Monks dedicate their lives to prayer and study. Odd. Strange or unusual, not typical. He has an odd way of speaking. It's odd that she didn't answer her phone. Pause. A temporary stop or break, to stop briefly. There was a long pause before he answered. She paused to think before replying. Priest. A religious leader in certain Christian denominations. The priest led the prayer. People went to the priest for advice. Profession. A job or occupation that requires special education. Teaching is a respected profession. He chose engineering as his profession. Ball. A round object used in games and sports. They played with a soccer ball. The cat chased the ball across the floor. Bottom. The lowest part of something. She found the key at the bottom of the drawer. They reached the bottom of the hill. Company. A business organization, being with others. She works at a software company. They enjoyed each other's company. Drink. A liquid for consumption, to consume liquid. She ordered a cold drink. He drank water after the workout. Few. A small number of something. Only a few people showed up. She has a few close friends. Line. A long, thin mark or row, a queue of people or things. Draw a straight line across the page. They waited in line for tickets. Pet. An animal kept for companionship. She has a cat as a pet. Pets bring joy to their owners. Product. Something that is made or grown to be sold. This is their latest product. The product is available in stores. Responsible. Having the duty to take care of something or someone. He is responsible for managing the project. She is a responsible person. Sell. To exchange goods or services for money. They sell fresh vegetables at the market. He sold his car last week. Snake. A long, legless reptile. They saw a snake in the garden. Snakes are often found in warm areas. Stand. To be upright on one's feet, to be in a certain position. She stood by the window. He can't stand the noise. Strange. Unusual or unexpected, not familiar. She had a strange feeling about the place. The new environment felt strange. Tea. A drink made by steeping dried tea leaves in hot water. He enjoys drinking tea every morning. They served green tea with the meal. Test. An examination or trial to examine knowledge or ability. She has a math test tomorrow. They tested the product for durability. Please subscribe and like. Tongue. The muscular organ in the mouth used for tasting and speaking. She bit her tongue while eating. He speaks in a sharp tongue. They. A word used to refer to people or things previously mentioned. They went to the market. They enjoy reading books. Type. A category or kind to input text using a keyboard. What type of music do you like? She typed her report on the computer. Very. Used to emphasize an adjective or adverb. She is very happy with her results. The weather is very cold today. Wait. To remain in place or delay action until something happens. Please wait for your turn. He waited for the bus to arrive. Accomplish. To succeed in doing or achieving something. She accomplished her goal of learning Spanish. They accomplished the project on time. Approve. To officially agree to or accept something. The manager approved the request. They approved the new design for the building. Approximate. Nearly correct or accurate, but not exact. The approximate cost is $50. Her approximate age is 30. Barrier. Something that blocks movement or progress. The language barrier made communication difficult. They removed the barrier to enter the park. Detect. To discover or notice something. Doctors detected the disease early. He detected a change in her behavior. Duty. A moral or legal obligation, a task or responsibility. He feels it's his duty to help others. She completed her duties before leaving. Elementary. Basic or simple, related to early education. They teach reading at the elementary level. He has an elementary understanding of the topic. Failure. Lack of success in achieving something. The project ended in failure. She learned from her failures. Gradual. Happening slowly over time. There was a gradual change in the weather. Her recovery was gradual. Immigrant. A person who comes to live in a new country. The city has a large immigrant population. She is an immigrant from Brazil. Insert. To put something into something else. Please insert your card into the machine. He inserted the key into the lock. Instant. A very short time, happening immediately. He felt an instant connection with her. Instant coffee is very convenient. Poverty. The state of being very poor. Many people in the area live in poverty. Poverty affects millions worldwide. Pretend. To act as if something is true when it is not. She pretended to be asleep. He pretended not to hear her. Rank. A position within a hierarchy, to place in order. He holds a high rank in the military. The players are ranked based on their scores. Recognition. Acknowledgement or appreciation of something or someone's achievement. She received recognition for her work. The company values employee recognition. Refrigerate. To keep something cold in a fridge. You should refrigerate the milk. They refrigerated the leftovers. Rent. To pay for temporary use of something, payment for use. He rents an apartment in the city. They paid the rent for the month. Retire. To stop working, typically due to age. He retired after 30 years of service. She plans to retire next year. Statistic. A numerical fact or data point from a larger set. The statistic shows an increase in sales. She studied statistics in college. Please subscribe and like. Accident. An unplanned event that causes damage or injury. She was in a car accident yesterday. The accident happened suddenly. Astronaut. A person trained to travel in space. The astronaut conducted experiments in space. She dreamed of becoming an astronaut. Awake. Not asleep, conscious. She stayed awake all night studying. He is wide awake after the coffee. Courage. The ability to do something that frightens one. She showed great courage by speaking up. Courage is needed to face challenges. Float. To rest or move on or near the surface of a liquid. The boat began to float on the lake. Leaves float on the water in autumn. Grant. To agree to give or allow something requested. The king granted him a favor. She was granted permission to enter. Gravity. The force that attracts a body towards the center of the earth. Gravity keeps us on the ground. The moon's gravity affects the tides. Jewel. A precious stone, typically set in a piece of jewelry. She wore a necklace with a beautiful jewel. The crown was decorated with jewels. Miner. A person who works in a mine. The miner extracted coal from the ground. Miners face dangerous working conditions. Mineral. A solid, naturally occurring substance. Salt is a common mineral. The body needs various minerals to function. Participate. To take part in an activity or event. He decided to participate in the contest. They participated in a community cleanup. Permission. Authorization or consent to do something. She asked for permission to leave. Without permission, they couldn't proceed. Pour. To cause a liquid to flow from a container. She poured water into the glass. Pour the juice slowly to avoid spilling. Raw. Not cooked or processed. They ate raw vegetables in the salad. The meat was still raw in the middle. Satellite. an artificial body placed in orbit around the Earth. The satellite provided weather data. Satellites help in global communication. Scale. A system or series of levels used for measuring something. The scale of the problem was enormous. He used a scale to weigh the ingredients. Skip. To omit or leave out. She decided to skip breakfast today. He skipped the last chapter of the book. Stretch. To make something longer or wider by pulling it. She stretched her arms after waking up. Stretch the fabric carefully to avoid tears. Telescope. An instrument used to observe distant objects. They used a telescope to see the stars. The telescope revealed new galaxies. Underground. Situated or occurring below the Earth's surface. They explored an underground cave. The train system runs underground. Alarm. A warning of danger, typically a sound or signal. The alarm sounded at midnight. She set an alarm to wake up early. Arrest. To seize someone by legal authority. The police arrested the suspect. He was arrested for trespassing. Award. A prize or other mark of recognition. She received an award for her hard work. Awards were given to the top students. Breed. To cause animals to produce offspring. They breed dogs for their temperament. He breeds rare fish in his aquarium. Bucket. A container with a handle used for carrying liquids. She filled the bucket with water. The bucket was used to clean the floor. Please subscribe and like. Contest. A competition between participants. He won first place in the contest. She entered a cooking contest. Convict. A person found guilty of a crime. The convict was sentenced to prison. The prison held many convicts. Festival. A celebration or gathering for a special occasion. They attended a music festival. The town hosts a festival every year. Garage. A building for housing a vehicle. He parked his car in the garage. The garage was filled with tools. Journalist. A person who writes for newspapers or magazines. The journalist covered the event. She is a well-known journalist. Pup. A young dog. The pup was full of energy. They adopted a cute little pup. Qualify. To meet the requirements for something. She qualified for the final round. He qualified to join the team. Repair. To fix something that is damaged. They repaired the broken window. She repaired her old watch. Resume. To continue after a pause or interruption. He resumed his work after lunch. The meeting will resume shortly. Rob. To take property unlawfully from a person or place. The bank was robbed last night. They plan to rob the jewelry store. Slip. To slide accidentally, often losing balance. He slipped on the wet floor. She slipped and fell on the ice. Somewhat. To a moderate extent or degree. She was somewhat tired after the hike. The news was somewhat surprising. Stable. Not likely to change or fail. Steady. His condition is now stable. The building was stable despite the earthquake. Tissue. A group of cells with a similar function in the body. Muscle tissue helps us move. They studied tissue samples in the lab. Yard. An outdoor area surrounding a house. The kids played in the yard. She planted flowers in the front yard. Best. Of the highest quality, excellence, or standing. She gave her best performance. This is the best restaurant in town. Card. A small piece of thick paper for writing or printing on, often used for identification or greetings. He handed her a business card. I received a birthday card from her. Crowd. A large number of people gathered together. The crowd cheered loudly. There was a huge crowd at the concert. Day. The period of 24 hours between one midnight and the next. She spends her day at the office. It's a sunny day outside. Rish. A shallow, flat container for serving food or a specific prepared item of food. She prepared a traditional dish. The dish was delicious and spicy. Easy. Achieved without great effort, simple. The task was surprisingly easy. This recipe is easy to follow. Experience. Practical contact with and observation of facts or events. She has experience in teaching. Traveling is a great way to gain experience. Hotel. A place providing accommodations, meals, and other services for travelers. They stayed in a 5-star hotel. The hotel was near the beach. Hour. A period of time equal to 60 minutes. She waited for an hour. The train arrives in 1 hour. Light. The natural agent that makes things visible. The room was filled with sunlight. He turned on the light in the room. Please subscribe and like. Market. A place or event for buying and selling goods. They visited the local market. The stock market fluctuates daily. Plan. A detailed proposal for doing or achieving something. She made a plan for the weekend. The company has a plan for growth. Price. The amount of money required for something. The price of gas increased. He asked for the price of the watch. Short. Of small length or duration. The movie was surprisingly short. She wore a short dress. Shop. A place where goods are sold. They went to a coffee shop. She works at a flower shop. Station. A place where a particular service or activity is based. The train arrived at the station. He works at a police station. Surprise. An unexpected event or thing. She planned a surprise for his birthday. The news came as a surprise. System. A set of connected things forming a complex whole. The educational system needs reform. The heating system was broken. Taxi. A car licensed to transport passengers in return for payment. He took a taxi to the airport. They hailed a taxi from the street. 2. The number equivalent to 1 plus 1. She has 2 dogs. 2 people were waiting outside. Bath. The act of washing oneself, especially in a tub of water. She enjoys a relaxing bath. He took a quick bath before dinner. Bend. To shape or force something straight into a curve or angle. She bent down to pick up the coin. The road bends sharply to the left. Chew. To bite and work food in the mouth to make it easier to swallow. She chewed her food slowly. The dog chews on his toy. Disabled. Having a physical or mental condition that limits movements, senses, or activities. The building is accessible to disabled people. He works with disabled veterans. Fantastic. Extraordinarily good or attractive. The view from the top is fantastic. She had a fantastic time at the party. Fiction. Literature in the form of prose, especially novels, describing imaginary events and people. She prefers fiction over nonfiction. This novel is a work of fiction. Flag. A piece of cloth with a distinctive design, used as a symbol. They raised the national flag. The flag was waving in the wind. Inspect. To look at closely, typically to assess the condition of something. The mechanic inspected the car. The police inspected the crime scene. Journal. A daily record of news and events, a diary or newspaper. She writes in her journal every night. He works for a scientific journal. Liquid. A substance that flows freely, but has a constant volume, like water. She poured the liquid into the glass. Mercury is a liquid at room temperature. Marvel. To be filled with wonder or astonishment. They marveled at the beautiful sunset. She marveled at his talent. Overcome. To succeed in dealing with a problem or difficulty. She overcame her fear of heights. He overcame many obstacles in his life. Recall. To remember something or bring it back into one's mind. I can't recall his name. She recalls her childhood with fondness. Regret. To feel sad, repentant, or disappointed about something. He regrets not studying harder. She expressed regret for her decision. Soul. The spiritual or immaterial part of a human being. Music speaks to the soul. She felt the soul of the place. Please subscribe and like. Sufficient. Enough, adequate. The food was sufficient for everyone. He has sufficient funds for the trip. Surgery. Medical treatment involving an operation. She needs surgery on her knee. The surgery was a success. Huff. Strong enough to withstand difficult conditions. The fabric is tough and durable. He had a tough childhood. Tube. A long, hollow cylinder used for conveying fluids. He drank from a tube. The tube carried water to the garden. Value. The importance, worth, or usefulness of something. She understands the value of education. The ring has sentimental value. Atom. The basic unit of a chemical element. Everything is made up of atoms. Atoms combine to form molecules. Beautiful. Pleasing to the senses or mind. She is a beautiful dancer. The garden was beautiful in spring. Breadth. The distance or measurement from side to side. The breadth of the river is impressive. The room has a great breadth. Comet. A celestial object with a nucleus of ice and dust. The comet was visible last night. They observed the comet through a telescope. Cover. To place something over or upon. He covered the pot with a lid. The snow covered the ground. Despair. The complete loss or absence of hope. She was in despair after the loss. The news filled him with despair. Form. The visible shape or configuration of something. The form of the sculpture was unique. He filled out the form carefully. Fragment. A small part broken off or separated. They found a fragment of the vase. The poem is a fragment of a larger work. Galaxy. A system of millions or billions of stars. The Milky Way is our galaxy. Scientists study distant galaxies. Gloom. Partial or total darkness, a state of melancholy. She sat in the gloom, lost in thought. The news cast a gloom over the party. Large. Of considerable or relatively great size. They bought a large pizza. The building has large windows. Moon. The natural satellite of Earth. The moon was bright in the night sky. They watched the moon rise. Radiate. To emit energy in the form of rays or waves. The sun radiates heat and light. Her kindness radiates to everyone. Roam. To move about aimlessly or without any destination. They roamed the countryside freely. He likes to roam around the city. Solitary. Done or existing alone. He enjoys solitary walks. The prisoner was kept in solitary confinement. Spectrum. A range of different positions, opinions, or qualities. The light spectrum includes colors. The policy has a broad spectrum of support. Sphere. A round solid figure, or a field of activity. The Earth is shaped like a sphere. The globe is a sphere. Star. A luminous point in the sky that is a large, remote incandescent body. They gazed at the stars. The star shone brightly in the night. Status. The social or professional standing of someone or something. He has high status in his community. She updated her social media status. Ugly. Unpleasant or repulsive, especially in appearance. The building was considered ugly. He had an ugly scar on his arm. Please subscribe and like. Accuse. To charge someone with an offense or crime. She accused him of lying. The police accused him of theft. Adjust. To change something slightly to improve it or make it more suitable. He adjusted his tie before entering. She adjusted the seat to her height. Amuse. To entertain or make someone laugh. The clown amused the children. His jokes amused everyone at the party. Coral. A hard, stony substance formed by marine organisms. The coral reef is home to many fish. Coral is sensitive to changes in water temperature. Cotton. A soft, fluffy fiber that grows on plants, used in textiles. She wore a cotton dress. Cotton is commonly used for clothing. Crash. To collide violently with something. The car crashed into the tree. The plane crash was in the news. Deck. A flat area, usually on a ship or outside a house. They sat on the deck enjoying the sun. The ship's deck was crowded. Engage. To participate or become involved in. She was engaged in the conversation. The teacher engages students in activities. Firm. Strongly fixed, not soft or yielding. He gave a firm handshake. She has firm beliefs. Fuel. A substance burned to provide energy. The car runs on diesel fuel. They ran out of fuel on the road. Grand. Impressive in size or appearance. The palace was grand and majestic. They threw a grand party for her. Hurricane. A powerful storm with strong winds and rain. The hurricane caused widespread damage. They evacuated before the hurricane arrived. Loss. The fact or process of losing something or someone. She felt a deep sense of loss. The company reported a financial loss. Plain. Simple or without decoration. She wore a plain dress. The room was painted in plain colors. Reef. A ridge of rock or coral near the water's surface. They went diving near the coral reef. The reef is home to many marine species. Shut. To close something tightly. He shut the door quietly. She shut her eyes to sleep. Strict. Demanding that rules are obeyed and observed. The teacher was very strict. She follows a strict diet. Surf. To ride on waves in the sea on a board. They went surfing at the beach. He loves to surf during summer. Task. A piece of work to be done. Her task was to organize the files. The project involved several tasks. Zone. An area with a particular purpose or use. The city has a no parking zone. They entered a restricted zone. Apology. An expression of regret for a mistake or offense. She gave a sincere apology. He offered an apology for being late. Bold. Showing courage, not afraid. She made a bold decision. His fashion style is bold and unique. Bug. An insect or a fault in a computer program. There was a bug in the software. A bug flew into the room. Capture. To take into one's possession by force. They captured the escaped prisoner. The photo captured the moment perfectly. Duke. A man holding the highest hereditary title in the British and some European peerages. The Duke hosted a grand event. He was introduced as the Duke of Norfolk. Please subscribe and like. Expose. To reveal something hidden. The documentary exposed corruption. She exposed the secrets in her novel. Guilty. Responsible for a specified wrongdoing. He was found guilty of the crime. She felt guilty about lying. Hire. To employ someone for a job. The company hired new staff. He was hired as a manager. Innocent. Not guilty of a crime or offense. The jury found her innocent. She has an innocent look. Language. A system of communication used by a community. English is a widely spoken language. They learned a new language in school. Minister. A member of the government in charge of a particular area. The minister gave a speech. He was appointed as finance minister. Ordinary. Common, usual, or of no special quality. She wore ordinary clothes. He led an ordinary life. Permanent. Lasting or intended to last indefinitely. She has a permanent job. They need a permanent solution. Preserve. To keep something in its original state. They preserved old photos in an album. The forest is preserved as a natural reserve. Pronounce. To make the sound of a word in the correct way. She can pronounce French words well. He mispronounced her name. Resemble. To look or be like someone or something. She resembles her mother. The twins resemble each other closely. Symptom. A physical or mental feature indicating a condition or disease. A sore throat is a symptom of a cold. He had symptoms of the flu. Tobacco. A plant whose leaves are prepared for smoking or chewing. He quit using tobacco products. Tobacco is harmful to health. Twin. One of two children or animals born at the same birth. She has a twin sister. The twin brothers look identical. Witch. A woman thought to have magical powers, often evil. The story is about a wicked witch. They dressed as witches for Halloween. Accompany. To go somewhere with someone. She accompanied him to the event. Music accompanied the performance. Bare. Not covered or clothed. He walked on the bare floor. The tree's branches were bare in winter. Branch. A part of a tree that grows out from the trunk. The bird sat on a branch. The company opened a new branch downtown. Breath. The air taken in or expelled from the lungs. She took a deep breath. His breath was visible in the cold air. Bridge. A structure carrying a road or path across a river. They cross the bridge by car. The bridge connects the two towns. Cast. To throw something forcefully. She cast the net into the sea. They cast him as the lead role. Dare. To have the courage to do something. She dared to speak her mind. I wouldn't dare try that. Electronic. Relating to devices or circuits using electricity. She bought an electronic device. They played electronic music. Inn. A small hotel or pub where travelers stay. They stayed at a cozy inn. The inn was full of visitors. Net. A fabric with open spaces, used for catching or protecting. They used a net to catch fish. The goal was blocked by the net. Please subscribe and like. Philosophy. The study of fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, and ethics. She studies philosophy in college. His philosophy on life is inspiring. Pot. A container, usually round, for cooking or holding plants. She boiled water in a pot. The flowers are in a clay pot. Seed. A small, hard object produced by plants, which can grow into a new plant. He planted a seed in the garden. Seeds are essential for agriculture. Sharp. Having a thin edge or point that can cut or pierce. The knife was very sharp. She has a sharp mind. Sort. A category or type of something. He is a nice sort of person. They sorted the files into categories. Subtract. To take away a number or amount from another. Subtract 5 from 10 to get 5. She subtracted her expenses from her income. Height. Firmly held or fixed in position. The lid was tightly sealed. Her schedule is very tight. Virtual. Existing or occurring on computers or online. He attended a virtual meeting. She enjoys virtual reality games. Weigh. To measure the weight of something. He weighed the package. The baby weighs about 3 kilograms. Whisper. To speak very softly. She whispered a secret to him. He whispered during the movie. Abstract. Existing as an idea but not having a physical form. Abstract art can be hard to understand. Her theory is abstract but interesting. Annual. Occurring once every year. They hold an annual festival. The company's annual report is released. Clay. A stiff, sticky fine-grained earth that can be molded when wet. The potter shaped the clay. The child made figures out of clay. Cloth. Material made by weaving or knitting fibers. She cleaned the table with a cloth. The dress was made from fine cloth. Curtain. A piece of fabric hung to cover or decorate. She opened the curtains. The curtains blocked out the sunlight. Deserve. To be worthy of something. He deserves recognition for his work. She deserves a break after working hard. Feather. One of the soft, light parts that cover a bird's body. The bird has colorful feathers. A feather floated down from the tree. Fertile. Capable of producing abundant vegetation or crops. The soil is very fertile. Fertile land is crucial for farming. Flood. An overflow of water that submerges land. The town was hit by a flood. The flood damaged many houses. Furniture. Objects that are used to make a room suitable for living, such as tables and chairs. The room is filled with modern furniture. They bought new furniture for their home. Grave. A place where a dead person is buried. They visited the grave of their ancestor. She placed flowers on his grave. Ideal. Perfect or most suitable for a particular purpose. This is the ideal place for a picnic. She has the ideal skills for the job. Intelligence. The ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Her intelligence is remarkable. Artificial intelligence is advancing. Obtain. To get something, especially by effort. He obtained a scholarship. The information was difficult to obtain. Religious. Relating to or believing in a religion. She comes from a religious family. They have religious beliefs and practices. Please subscribe and like. Romantic. Relating to love or a loving relationship. They had a romantic dinner. She enjoys romantic movies. Shell. The hard, protective outer case of certain animals like turtles or mollusks. She found a shell on the beach. The turtle shell is its shield. Shore. The land along the edge of a sea or lake. They walked along the shore. Waves crashed against the shore. Wheel. A circular object that enables movement when rotating. The car has 4 wheels. He fixed the bike's wheel. Wooden. Made of wood. She bought a wooden table. The cabin has a wooden floor. Appliance. A device or machine for a specific household task. They bought new kitchen appliances. The appliance needs repair. Basin. A bowl for washing, typically attached to a wall and connected to a water supply. She washed her hands in the basin. The basin was filled with water. Broom. A long-handled brush for sweeping floors. She used a broom to clean the room. The broom is in the closet. Caterpillar. The larval stage of a butterfly or moth. The caterpillar turned into a butterfly. They found a caterpillar on the leaf. Cupboard. A cabinet with shelves for storing dishes, food, or clothes. She put the plates in the cupboard. The cupboard was full of spices. Delicate. Easily broken or damaged, fragile. The glass vase is very delicate. She has a delicate touch in her work. Emerge. To come out into view or become visible. The butterfly emerged from its cocoon. New trends emerge every year. Handicap. A physical or mental condition that limits activities. His disability is a minor handicap. She overcomes her handicap with strength. Hole. An opening or hollow space in something. He dug a hole in the ground. There is a hole in the fence. Hook. A curved tool for catching or holding things. She hung her coat on a hook. The hook on the wall was loose. Hop. To jump lightly on one foot or with both feet. The frog hops across the grass. He hopped over the puddle. Laundry. Clothes or linens that need to be washed. She did the laundry on Saturday. The laundry basket was full. Pursue. To follow or chase after something. She decided to pursue a career in law. He pursued his dreams of becoming a doctor. Reluctant. Unwilling and hesitant. She was reluctant to join the meeting. He felt reluctant to share his thoughts. Sleeve. The part of a garment that covers the arm. She rolled up her sleeves. The shirt has long sleeves. Spine. The column of bones running down the back, backbone. The book's spine was damaged. She has a problem with her spine. Stain. A mark or discoloration that is difficult to remove. She couldn't remove the wine stain. The shirt had a coffee stain. Strip. A long, narrow piece of material. He cut the paper into strips. The farm has a strip of green grass. Swear. To make a serious promise or to use offensive language. He swore to tell the truth. She swore out of frustration. Swing. To move back and forth, often freely. The children played on the swing. He swung the door open. Please subscribe and like. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future content.